Hello everyone, MetaBlriger has recently been updated and released version 2.7. The update of this version is to add the function of arbitrary topology model vertex UV and bone weights as well as related delta blendshape writing to DNA. The function of writing DNA is mainly divided into two parts. The first part is the regenerate head DNA button. It can rewrite model vertices and delta blendshapes of Metahuman-topology. Also, below any topo. This function of writing DNA. It can write meshes of any topology into DNA. Let's demonstrate this function below. First, install the version 2.7 version of the plugin. I have installed it here. We can take a look at the version number of this MetaBlriger. Is 2.7.0. Let's demonstrate this function below. Since the function of this update is mainly to write DNA, so we need to create a DNA in advance. Here we use the function of MetaBlriger's DNA generator to create DNA. You can actually skip this step. Just use the DNA generated by UE 5.7. Here we first import several necessary grids. Here we choose before Metahuman-Modeler Pro. The generated grids. Import them. Okay, here we import it. We can check its coordinates. It is all when the z-axis is upward. Everything here is rotated 90 degrees, so the coordinates are correct. For the convenience of entering the engine demonstration later, so I also create a body corresponding to the model here. Click Import Template Body. The two of them are not aligned here. So let S set up the body. Set up your head. Then select Align Body and Head Neck Seam Vertex. It can help us automatically perform vertex alignment. Then we do some smoothing of the head going into sculpt mode. I am going in fast here. In order to better connect the head and body, we need to do something at this time. We first create a material ball for the head, named Template Head. Similarly, we call the body S Material Ball Template Body. Then we select it and then select it. Ctrl-J. In this way, the two of them merge together. We enter Edit mode. Select all. Select Edge, Clear Sharp. Select Mesh, select Merge here and then by distance. At this time we will get into carving. I am going in fast here. Go to MetaBlriger any topo rig and select it. Separate active object to body and head. Okay, then we will create the binding at this time. Let's choose head here. Select left eye here. Right eye. Set DNA path. Next, click Generate DNA. OK, after the DNA is generated, we choose to import DNA. Build rig from DNA. It takes about 20 seconds to import DNA. I've fast-forwarded a little here. Well, now our DNA has been imported. We can see if it works properly. It's no problem. Next, we create the body binding. We need to change this body to Template Body. Then we choose Build Body Rig. Next, we choose Align same bones between head and body, because the common bone parts of the head and body need to be the same. OK. This is what our original DNA looked like. The import looked like this. The project we are demonstrating at this time is we need to make certain modifications to the original DNA mesh. Then save it. For example, we think these eyelashes look a little wrong. So we're going to modify it. We select eyelashes. Enter Edit. I won't go into too much detail here about how to modify it. Let me give you a quick demonstration. OK, let's finish trimming the eyelashes here. Then let's take a look at this eye cell, which also has some problems. Fix eye cell 2. One thing needs to be emphasized here. We cannot change the name of any grid here. Only shapes can be modified, but the grid name cannot be modified, because the plugin will automatically find the object with the corresponding name, and then rewrite it into the DNA. I am going to speed up the repair here. Eye cell has been modified. Let's demonstrate another function at this time, which is to modify its BS. Let's hide eyelash first. We found that the eyes were not closed tightly. We come here. Find the BS with a value of 1 and enter Edit Mode. Enter Edit Mode. Since how to fix it is not the focus of this video, so I am going to fast forward here. After modification, it can be mirrored to the left eye. Let S click on Mirror. Return to Pose Mode. This time I will also pose slightly, but there are some wrinkles. We can fix it. Return to Object Mode. We leave the left eye active. Then enter Engraving Mode. Let's smooth it out first. The repair process is fast-forwarded here. Good. At this point our eyes have been repaired. I am just using the eyes as an example here. You can completely modify other BS. Next, we can write the contents we just completed into the DNA. Let S unhide these. We need to make the skeleton visible. Next, we just need to click Regenerate Head DNA. We changed the name here to modified. It will probably take a while, and by this time we will have generated this new DNA. We can open a new Blender and import the DNA we just generated to see the effect. Then build rig from DNA. I fast-forwarded the import here. At this time we will find we read the DNA by default. This is how our eyebrows have been trimmed, and what eyeshell looks like. Then we can test it again. We can test it again with eyes closed. We found. Let's hide eyelash. We find that closing our eyes is what we have done before. Okay, this is the DNA written into the Metahuman topology. Return to previous project. To continue the demonstration later, let's first generate the body's DNA. After body's DNA is produced during birth, next we will demonstrate how to write any drag model into DNA. We open the previous DAZ character binding metahuman project as our starting point. Let's take a look at its topology. Its topology is not Metahuman-'s topology. We just write this arbitrary topology into DNA. Let me show you below. First, we must ensure that the coordinate system is correct before writing, and the coordinate dimensions are correct. Here we have been locked before. So we need to change these models to something like this. When the z-axis is upward, the face faces forward. Then the x-axis here is 90 degrees. So let's cancel the lock here first. Then click Object. Apply all transforms. Then Rx minus 90. OK. And then click Apply rotation. Then Rx minus 90. In this way we have modified this. Similarly, we modify the following. I have made some fast-forward changes here. These two things do not correspond to the model in Metahuman DNA. So we don't need to adjust it, because we won't need these two later. We need to modify its body, because later we need to write the body into the DNA. OK. At this time our data has been processed. We come to MetaBlriger. Here we first select a source DNA path. We can choose the DNA we generated before. For example, select the DNA of Metahuman Modeler Pro. Then there are two types of DNA. One is the body and the other is the head. Let us write the head DNA first. Let me say here that we will customize. If the topological model is written into DNA, just write to LOD0 level. It will automatically delete other LOD levels of LOD0. We choose head. I left. I right. For teeth here, we use metahuman teeth. Let S make a copy of it. Shift-D. Then Alt-P. Then we freeze it and transform it. Okay, let's choose this LOD0 mesh for our teeth. Then the eye shell corresponds to. There is no obvious eye shell model in DAZ, so we cannot set. Then eyelash. Choose the eyelash below. Then eyedge corresponds to this tear. If not, we can leave it blank. Then we choose Regenerate DNA. Here we choose Custom. Topology. Head. Okay, here we have finished writing the head. Let's select body again. Here we need to select the DNA of a new body. We just generated a body before, so here we use the previously generated body. Then our body here is right here. What I need to remind you here is that when we generate DNA, we must ensure that our skeleton is visible. Then regenerate body DNA. Here we choose the body. A good body has been generated. Next we open a new project. Introduce DNA from the body and head to see the effect. Let's first introduce the body's DNA. We can see that the imported model at this time is already the topology of DAZ, instead of Metahuman-topology. Then we import the DNA from the head. I can interpose and see the effect of DNA. Can completely restore the previous effect. By looking at the comparison of the left and right eyes, we know that our right eye was repaired before. Even if my left eye is not repaired, I can still see it after reloading the DNA. The right eye is correct and the left eye is wrong. There is no problem with the mouth either. Then we can choose this align same bones between head and body. Then we move our bodies to enter pose mode. If you are not using rig logic, you can turn it off first as it will affect performance. There's no problem either. But This custom-generated DNA cannot be imported into the engine. Next, we will demonstrate how to import the DNA of the regenerated MH topology into the engine. Let S create a new metahuman character. Double-click. Select Body. Conform. Here you can set the path of body DNA. Just select the path of the body DNA we just generated. Use MetaBlriger DNA. We choose the last item to import. This import whole rig is to completely move the contents of the DNA we generated before. Import into metahuman character. OK at this time. The shape and binding of the body is what we had before. Set it up in Blender. At this time we will import head. We choose this modified head. Then select Import. At this time we can preview the effect. Mainly look at the closed eyes. This part happens to be tightly closed. Let me save it first if we use unmodified DNA. Let S do it again like. We choose the DNA we generated directly before, rather than this modified. Let S take a look at the same. We found that this eye just can be closed. You can open the previous one and compare it. Save it first. Let S look here. This problem may be that we are using the wrong DNA here. We need to remove the rig first. Then, we are at head. Set DNA path here. UE has just automatically modified this here. We want to choose Pro Modified here. Then select Import. Let's see this time. Probably at this place. His eyes are closed tightly, and the one on the left. His eyes just can be closed tightly, so it means that the DNA we modified. You can also import U15.7. Let it take effect. But there is a problem here. This is where we are. It only takes effect at the LOD 0 level. It will not take effect for other LODs. And you also saw our physical demonstration. Our body is only written to the level of LOD 0. Other LODs do not take effect. Okay, let's end the engine demonstration here. DNA generated by custom topology cannot be passed through this method to import the engine. Next, we will demonstrate how to import DNA into Maya. Let us test it. Can Metahuman read our newly formed DNA? Such as this. It is identifiable. Since I am interested in this metahuman for Maya, I'm not very familiar with using this plugin. I am just here to test whether it can import DNA. It can be imported here. There's no problem either. Next, let us take a look. DNA generated by custom topology. Is it possible to import it? Can also be identified. It's just that I am not sure because the topology of the header has changed. Can the algorithms used later for fitting bones still work normally? That's it for today's tutorial. Thank you everyone for watching.